Hello. Is history as important as people make it out to believe? Well, here I'm going to show you why history should be studied and preserved for future generations. My purpose here is to establish to the mindset and to the audience that history and all events in the past should be carefully learned and studied. Now, I'm no certified historian or a history teacher or anything, but my love for history can go back to the times during my days in intermediate school. And, one of the interesting ways about history that you can learn is one way is researching your past, your family, and a lot of that can lead to fascinating discoveries. As for instance, you can find out about who you could be related to, where you actually came from, and that's what history is all about. It's all about finding where you came from, like finding about your past, not just your past entirely, but your family's past, where you came from, where you originated from, ethnicities that are laced back to your blood, anything like that. So one thing is, how can you learn about yourself? And there's many ways. There's many websites on the internet you can go to, like Ancestry or anything like that. You can search up more about your past by putting in, documents, certificates, just learning about where you came from. And that's kind of the beauty of it. It's like you're learning about the importance of your heritage, and you can find fascinating things. You can be related to a president from a distant time. You can be related to a king or queen or a very famous historical figure. You never know, and that's one of the greatest possibilities. And it's so interesting because those people, and like their blood flows within your veins, and it's a unique feeling to discover where you came from. That's one of the reasons why it interests me so much. And what you can learn from yourself, you can also relate to some leaders of the past. And how are some of the greatest leaders of the past has impacted today? We got a bunch of leaders that we all know of, like Gandhi, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., a lot of them. And some of the quotes, they've inspired millions. For example, there's one quote by Gandhi that love is the strongest force the world possesses, and this inspires people to spread the message of love throughout all history. Like these quotes from history impact a lot of people, and that's why words from history can be a strong thing. Another one from Martin Luther King is, "We may all have come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now." Meaning, it doesn't matter where you come from, where you originate from. We're all here now. We're together. We got to unite. And one from John F. Kennedy is, "The great revolution in the history of man is the revolution of those determined to be free." And just a bunch of these leaders from history. They've impacted millions of lives. They've impacted a lot of people, and you can be related to one of them. You never know. That's why researching is really good, and it helps you discover yourself a bit more. And so with all the great leaders of the past, with history and all the things that they have done, why do I care about history so much? Well, I'm so fascinated with just learning about the past. I don't know when it really developed. It was more like back in grade school. It just developed from there, and it's learning about what came before you was my biggest fascination, because you never know. You could have came from a family of the poorest poor and go up to be greatness, or you can be related to royalty and be where you are now. And it's all about like crossroads, roads that lead from one place to another, and they get to where you are now. And I've always been fascinated with this, and it'd be funny because I would end up being probably the only person in my history classes that were actually paying attention and learning about what the teacher was teaching us at that time. And it's a good feeling to learn about that stuff. And I encourage everybody to just kind of discover who you really are. Discover that you are more than just the person you are now. You've come from greatness. You've come from people who probably fought in wars, fought doing this, fought for rights, fought for everything, and now you are here now because of them. And I don't want history just to be important to me. As I've been stretching this message out through the speech, I want it to also be important to all of you to learn from the past. and we can make it so that the past can lead to a better tomorrow. And we got to find something to believe in and find it for ourselves, and we can pass it on to the future that way. Really teaching the next generation the past is always important to be studied, and you hear it a lot in the news, like, we have to learn from the past. We don't want to repeat things in history, including like very traumatic events, very catastrophic events. We don't want to lead back to those, and we can make an impact by the way we convey and we teach the next generation. So we'll make sure none of these catastrophes ever happen again. We want to make a brighter future for everybody. So we need to find something to believe in and pass it on. And so basically, what you can take from this is that history should be taken seriously, and it should be studied and preserved for future generations to learn from. We need to keep events of the past as examples for a better tomorrow. Although time will pass us by, let us all remember to take time and do something with it. Either it'll be teaching the next generation or helping out anyone. Let us make a better tomorrow. And I want to thank you guys for listening to my speech. Thank you guys for giving me your time. And you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you.